What's up guys, this is the Guitar Gent coming at you with a brand new reaction video. It's Gojira time. Gojira, Amazonia, new song, official video. I don't want to say anything else guys. I usually talk way too much in my intros and I just want to listen to this song. Let's go guys. This makes so much sense. As I said, this song makes so much sense for Gojira. Gojira have always had, I think, a very tribal feeling, like a very visceral feeling to their music. There is something about them. There is something about Joe's vocals. There is something, about their music that feels like it comes from somewhere deep within them. And I think it's one of the main reasons for their success, because when you hear that, you can recognize that, and it just drives you. It's like a force that permeates their music. And it makes so much sense to match that with actual tribal instrumentation as well. Of course, this I can only imagine, like I read here also in the description of the video, that all the proceeds or whatever comes from this video will go to deforestation causes, and it's something that we all know. Like, if you're familiar with Gojira, you know that that's something that's extremely close to their hearts. Let's say the preservation of the planet, and that being of course the Amazon, the Amazon forest being one of the prime examples of kind of humanity destroying the natural resources that we have on the planet. And some of the imagery was very strong and very sad to see, as you'd expect to be. But I'm grateful that we have bands that also address these kind of issues, because it's not that common, to be honest, in rock and metal music to have bands that talk about these things. It's probably more common than in other genres, but still, and these are very important topics, at least for me. Like, they're very close to my heart as well, so I'm happy to see that. But guys, the song was phenomenal. I think this is probably my favorite one at the first listen out of the 3 singles that we heard so far. It's kind of funny because just yesterday Royal Blood released a new song and I made a reaction for that, and I said that my 2 most anticipated records for the years are actually Royal Blood and Gojira, among of course the ones that have already been announced officially. And that's kind of funny that they released like song back to back with Royal Blood on Thursday and the day after Gojira. I'm not complaining. This song specifically, that riff on the chorus, wow, that's such an interesting riff. I was trying to count that, like the meter for the time. I don't think I get it right. I have an idea, but I prefer not to expose myself under that point of view right now. I prefer to go back and listen to that and actually be sure of what I'm talking about. It's such an interesting song. You have, again, this at the beginning, it's a bit more standard Gojira riff, so dun 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 dun. It's something that they've done a lot, of course, in their career. It's something that a lot of bands use. It's just a chromatic, one-step chromatic riff that works so well. It's so heavy, it just drives, because it's like bam 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 bam. It's like something that bounces and that moves. It's like a wave basically that comes to you, all which works fantastically well, with of course the addition of the traditional instrumentation. I want to say it, I'd imagine those being some kind of folk instruments from that region, again from South America. I don't know, and it's kind of funny as well. If you're familiar with the channel, we have been discovering a band called the Wagaki band from Japan, which basically integrates metal and rock elements with Japanese folk instruments, so traditional Japanese instruments, which I found absolutely fantastic, and I love when bands do that. And that's something that I was not expecting absolutely from Gojira, of all the people. Now, I know that there were already some elements that kind of reminiscent of this at the end of Magma. I again, I don't know which instruments were used in that case, but there is the last kind of instrumental tribal track again on Magma, which I'd imagine is some sort of a flute or something like that. Here we had clearly a string instrument. I don't know again if it's something close to the Italian one that I was referring to at the end of the reaction when I said about the Morricone soundtracks, because that's something that you actually play with your mouth. I don't know if that's the same thing, honestly. I have no idea. But it sounded very similar, like the way that it's like a very metallic sound that bounces. So it's like dang 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 dang, because that probably sounded very weird, but you basically shape the sound with your mouth as well, because you put something in your mouth and then you just play it. But I did kind of see, I think, some frames of an instrument actually being played. I have no idea. If you know, guys, please let me know. I'm very curious to find out about these things, because as I always say, also in the reactions for that other band, I love when there are folk instruments thrown in with metal elements and rock metal elements. I think it works very well, and it also helps preserve those, let's say, that heritage, that culture behind those instruments, which will be a shame if it dies. So just only releasing a song like this and having maybe 1% of the people that listens to this wondering, oh, what is this? I want to check it out and go and find out more about the instrument. It's already a great achievement, I think. So thank you, Gojira, for that, because I will always be in that 1%. Performances wise, I mean, what can you say? Again, the highlight of the song for me was that specific guitar riff, but the bass performance, like the way the bass came in, supporting that weird, beautiful riff, again, the one-step chromatic riff, played also by that traditional instrument. It was fantastic. The bass always supports the song so well in Gojira. It's such a crucial element as well. Despite them having two guitar players, it's one of the bands where you can actually hear almost all the time what the bass is playing and driving the song as well in many cases. Also, especially I'd say in the more recent Gojira's work, because they took a much more ambient direction, not necessarily with this, but you know what I mean. The guitars are not necessarily playing always very heavy riffs, but they also explore a bit more different and ethereal sounds, so that works very well. Vocal performance, amazing. As always, that's what I was saying at the beginning, guys. There is this visceral, there is this raw feeling about these vocals. Joe's vocals are just so nice and so aggressive, and also with the addition that I also pointed out during the reaction of those washed out background vocals, that always helps to create a certain atmosphere in their song. And then, I mean, the guitar work, again, as I said, that's for me the highlight of the song, but the drum work by Mario, that's something that at this stage I kind of take for granted, but it's such a devastating drummer. He is, again, I'd say that him and Danny Carey from Tool are probably the two best drummers in the world, at least, of course, when it comes to metal music and progressive metal. I don't want to talk about jazz drummers and stuff like that, because I'm not that cultured to judge in those different sectors and genres. Guys, a fantastic song. I'm even more pumped now for the record, if that's even possible. It's out April the 30th. I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait. Because Gojira, again, they're always one of the most exciting bands ever. There are not that many bands that when they release a song, I'm like, oh my god, I want to listen to this. Honestly, they're a blessing for metal genre, for metal music in general, for all heavy music, and also in a way, for the planet, because again, it's a band that, let's say that the cause that it's close to their hearts, it's very important, I think, as I already touched upon during the video, and I won't talk much longer about that, but it's just something I think that is very important to have a band, especially a band that's gaining more and more popularity, having a band like that addressing these issues. It's something I truly admire. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Hope that my analysis was somewhat interesting or insightful for you. Extremely curious to know what you think about this. Let me know also how you would rate the 3 singles that we got so far. I would imagine that that's it, and that they're not going to release anything else prior to the record, because that's literally, it's like a month away. Maybe they'll do the one song like 1 week before, just to get us even more hyped. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know how you will rank this among the other tracks. For me, I'd say it's number 1 so far. They've been growing, so the trend is definitely positive for this. Oh my god, guys, so excited, cannot wait for the record again. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We are, as I always say at the end of my videos, we're on a journey discovering more and more fantastic music every day, from all over the world, from various scenes, from different genres. So if you like what you see, if you like my analysis, if you find them insightful and you decide to stick around, also for guitar covers and all that good stuff, feel free to subscribe and stick around if you feel like it. If you don't, I'm already extremely appreciative of your time, the time that you spent today listening to this guy talking about music. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. See you soon.